All right, from the Fairfax City, we are very grateful that Bernward Koch accepted our invitation to the show. Bernard, welcome to my humble podcast.
Welcome, Claudio, and thank you very much for the invitation. It's my pleasure.
No problem. Let's go back to the beginning in your life, Bernard. How did you start with music and how?
Yeah, when I grow up in a very small village, the countryside, and we have different choirs and a marching band. And I played when I was 12. I started playing the trumpet, the marching band,
No.
and so. But it was good. But 3 years later, I start playing piano from a professional, and this professional was classical trained in Düsseldorf, and that was another world because it was real music. I understand it, and I found actually my real instrument. But at that time, when I was 14, I heard rock pop music from England, America start, and I want learning drums and guitar. So I self learning, and so over the years it became bigger and bigger. Um, Once I remember when I was 12, it was Christmas night, and my father and we saw a late program on TV, and there were a big band, American big band, with two legendary conductors, Duke Ellington and Count Basie. So I didn't know what jazz was in that time. But my father said, Bernward, that's music. So I never forget it. And later I loved jazz, and I playing in different bands, school bands and private bands, playing mostly drums. Sometimes a little bit guitar or bass, but mostly drums. And so I love it. And I think that influences where and is still alive. I love music. If I make music today, I think it's like sometimes I feel like a child. I'm 67, but I'm very, very happy that because I have the delight and have the thrilling of music, what music is and can be. It's an incredible universe, and it's a good working and a good world, and so it helps. It's much better living, and I am very open for different styles of music. I have to say, if I start piano playing, learned classical, so pieces from Mozart, Beethoven, Johann Sebastian Bach, and so on. But I tried to improvise. And so my teacher couldn't improvise. Yes, he could improvise, but only in the church manner on a church organ, including improvising with music from Johann Sebastian Bach, and in this direction, it's a very special. It's fantastic, but that was not my way. My way was rather, or is rather, being free, playing in jazz and rock and pop in different harmonies, and trying always finding new things. And I know you can find new things in music always. It's about the musician being open, try new things, and it works. It works even if you make music since over 50 years. And so that's a secret, actually, and it's a secret for happiness. And so that's yeah, that was my way a little bit. And later I studied music in the music high school Cologne. But after less than 1 year, I quit because it was good in a classical direction, but not in my way. And I asked myself at that time, end of the 70s, 79, 80. So I love the Beatles, for example. So how? And I began, I read lots of things about the Beatles. How get they what they do? And so they never studied music. They simply does it. And I believe that such things that from Paul McCartney and John Lennon, when they were 14 years old, they lost her mothers in a tragic way. And I think this is a thing you can't learn it on a school, on a university or something. And it has to do coming such a genius, such great composers and musicians. And so in school, I believe you can learn craftsmanship, yes, but you can't learn being a real artist. And for me, it's important learning. So long I live, learning, it's interesting, being open, and so it's not over. And making music it's for me the best thing in life. And yeah, if you see, today, 1 week ago, a great musician, American musician, died, Phil Lesh, the bass player from the Grateful Dead. And I met him in 2017. I visited him in his great club in San Rafael near San Francisco, Terrapin Crossroads. I had a short chat with him, and it was so great because I discovered him, the Grateful Dead, when I was 16 years old, and the improvise of such jam bands. So that really, yeah, it's this. I like it. I love it, and I'm a jam musician too. So musician America say ear. You are an ear musician, playing with your ears in just in the moment, and it will work. And so that's really impressed me until today. And yeah,
Good, good for you. Good for you. But you, in those years, you end up playing, bass, guitar, drums, flute. So, and why you end up, so you have a lot of influence for being exposed to different instruments. You were playing instrument, but at the end you decided, well, what I would like to do is more related to keyboard and piano, right? That's what you end up kind of sticking with piano, if you will, or keyboards a little bit, right?
yes, yes. And in the later in the 80s, at the end of the 70s, I started playing different bands as a keyboard player. Piano, Fender Rhodes, Hohner clavinet D6,
Yeah.
and in the Minimoog, that was a classical style of a jazz rock funky band in the 70s. And so I went different bands. And in the 80s, we started a new band, the Brothers, and that was a real good funky trio. And I played the keyboards. My brother played the drums, and a friend played bass, funky slapping. And so in that time, I start record different pieces of music, different ideas, which we couldn't play. It wouldn't fit in that band, and it was in a relaxation manner. So then we had a gig in the television and live in television, and we made a sound check, and at the time I played my own songs a little bit to warm up, and my own little compositions. And then that editor from the television came, oh, what's that? Repeat it, please. And so, yeah, I have only my ideas, so I don't know. I never thought about that. But he said, oh, that's very, very good. It really touched me. So I thought about, and I start make um, demo tapes, 3 demo tapes. I thought, okay, why not? Why not? Maybe I never heard about music like New Age or so what, or so. I don't like that term. But I know a band from America like Oregon. The band called Oregon. I think you know that band.
Yeah.
And, it's a great, and the album was Distant Hills, and it was it was really touched me. And if I heard the music, I could see the landscape where I live, and it was a great impression for me. And so I recorded my 4 tracks and sent it to different record companies in Germany. Start to EMI in Cologne. You know, EMI was the record company at that time from Pink Floyd and the Beatles and many other incredible greats. And the good thing was, after 4 weeks or so, one guy called me and said, "So, Bernward, it's really great what you do, but it doesn't fit for our company because we make rock pop music and not that kind of instrumental music." But I think never forget, it was a really good thing that Martin Unger was his name, that he called me. And he said, so there is a good label in Hamburg, and name is Erdenklang, and Uli Rützel, and send it to him. This is very good. It's an independent label. It's much more better for you. And so I did it, and first I heard nothing, and I called him, and he said, "Oh, I have nothing going. I don't know what. I think it probably lost the tape." And at that time, record companies got a bunch of demo tapes every day. But after the call, okay, send it again. I sent it the demo tapes, the cassette again. And right now I got a call. So when can you meet us? And it was quickly, and we had different calls, and we met us, and so made a deal. I got a record kit deal and start working my very first record, and it was called Flowing. And Flowing, and this is very interesting. This is original first cover of that record, and this is a later American release, and it was very interesting. We released Flowing, the piano album. I played the most instruments, so piano, keyboard, synthesizer, electric piano, bass, a little bit percussion. My wife, Christiane, she plays the flute for a few tracks, and my brother, Christoph, he played drums and percussion on a few tracks. So the record was released in October '89, and nothing was happened. But half year later, beginning of 90, my record company, the owner, Uli Rützel called me and said, "Hey, Bernward, you get heavy airplay in Los Angeles and in San Francisco." I thought, okay. And there were two radio stations, and I think they are still there. The Wave in Los Angeles and KKSF in San Francisco. And so it was a little, it was unbelievable for me if I heard it. And then I had a hit from that album, Ever Returning, and that hit in California, and that hit it lands on different compilations, CDs, hundred thousands, and it's a benefit CD for AIDS research, and in Los Angeles by the Wave, and chairman was actor Elizabeth Taylor, and in San Francisco by the radio station KKSF. And there were greats like Sting, El Jarreau, Dave Gruzin, and other great musicians. And so that was for me a very good step, getting a foot in the door in America. It's only of that hit single, and it was a good start. And then the next record was in the Billboard New Age charts, and so yeah. I had my record deal with Hamburg, but if the deal was over, then the American record company Real Music, the owner was Terence Yellow from Sausalito near San Francisco. Wonderful place, and he offered me a new record deal, and we had a really good time, good work, incredible good relationship, and we trust each other, and so it was a good thing. Met him.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, like you mentioned, the Ever Returning, that was a hit song from the first album from
Yes, Ever Returning.
Yep. And then the second album also, Laguna de la Vera, also you did very well because it's achieved top position in the Billboard New Age chart as well, right?
Yes. Laguna de la Vera, it's the name of a friend of mine. His father was Spain, and that's because Laguna de la Vera.
Yeah.
And it sounds good. Rafael Laguna de la Vera is his name. And yeah, it was a good match. And I know, yes, they had another, at that time, it was before Real Music. It was Higher Octave label, another label in Los Angeles. And they made good work. So the record jumped into the top 20 in the New Age charts, and they said, so that's very good, that's very important. The Billboard charts will watch on the world. So now people in Japan know what's happened. And if you are in the Billboard charts, the whole world says, okay, this is very interesting. Let me know who is Bernward Koch, and I want to order the new album. It was a good and important step, but only at that time. It's you have to work always, and yeah.
And then obviously you keep on progressing because the next album in 1995 is still Magic. I think you did very well in the United States and Europe because many airlines use your music and they kind of use it to a slogan, music against the fear of flying. A lot of people perhaps they're afraid of flying, and nowadays and back at the time. So I think the Deutsche Lufthansa, Korean Airlines, Singapore Airlines in the United States use your music as a way to people to relax and get into a plane. It's going to be okay. And so I'm hope you got royalties for every time the music was you. You will be
I
a
hope,
rich.
yeah. I hope also you can't control it. So if your music is in planes, aeroplanes around the world, it's good, but you got not much money. And yeah, so a woman from my village was on flew to China, and she was in an airplane, and she looks in a paper, and suddenly she discovered my face, my music, and she said to her neighbor, "Look, this is from my village." So no, impossible. And it was that was the world was smaller if you are on many airlines around the world, and it was good. Gives you a good feel if people like the music, and but at that time, I have to say, royalties, being a rich man, there's other things. And is um, in that kind of music, instrumental music, it's not pop music, it's uh, it's another way. Um, but it's not only the most important thing. The first thing is making good music. And then if you are successful with this, better. But it starts with the music for me,
Sure.
giving the soul, giving everything. You give your the emotions and play as good as you can, playing for the eternity. Um, it's like the great drummer, jazz drummer Elvin Jones. Once he said, "So plays every time as it were would be the last time, but it could the last time." And I think it's especially if you are sitting in the studio and work on a production on a new release. It's for should be and it is for eternity. So give your very best.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. You have done very well. And then some year later, some universities here in the US, I think in Utah, end up recommending you music for anti-stress and as well. And so you were very the degree of popularity began gaining track because your
Yes,
music was used again, for anti-stress and people that were stressed out on the job and they were going through issues in their families. They would say, "Hey, listen to Bernward Koch music and put your headphone, you will be okay."
yes, it is. We have no many money or things for advertising.
Sure.
People picked up it, and sometimes I get an email from a teacher, I think it was a professor from the Weber State University in Utah, as you said, yes. And
Yeah.
he said, "So we have a research project. We have students, and they have different music, um, and then they have decided so which music are really good work for calming down, for for health, for healthier soul. And so I thought, so that's good. And a few months later, he sent me a video, and you could see people, the probans, the students sit in a chair and close the eyes and had an earphone and heard the music. Especially album Walking Through Clouds, and you could see wonderful pictures of the nature. And he said, the teacher from university said, your music works, really works. And this is only for research, not for making money or something. It's only for research people. And so I was very happy about that. And if you are sitting alone for a month or for a year in the studio and work on a record, so it's worthful, and it's very happy. I'm really happy if I see that other people, no matter where they are, but if the music helps other people. But the first step, I am, Claudia, in which world we are living, and it's not easy. It's not a paradise, but I have to get used with it, and music is like a therapy for me, for myself. If I at Hamburg, but if a track is finished, and I heard it and said, "Oh, good," and I can better breathe and, and such things, and so then I know so that will work, and it will do, and yeah, it's very, very interesting, and it's especially interesting what the possibilities are in America and the USA are much more than in our country or so, and it's interesting always.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A couple of years later, after that, you end up recording a very good album that was dedicated to, of course, the Swiss writer Herman Hesse, Motanola, and you received several awards for as well for that in Germany. You knew, I mean, I'm an admirer of Herman Hesse. As a matter of fact, in a couple of months of February, I'm going to be flying to Zurich for music related stuff, and I'm going to be visiting his grave, Herman Hesse grave. That is the border with Italy there. And so
Yeah.
and I admire his work and his writer, and Herman Hesse make a big impression on my life when I was like 15 or 16 year old back in the day in South America. So I know his work very well. Why? So how you get why Herman Hesse, and why you end up recording that album and dedicated that to him?
Yeah, that's great to hear that you are impressed from Hermann Hesse too.
Yeah.
Yes, he made an impact. If I was, I think, 18 or 19, I start reading for the first time. First book was Siddhartha.
Siddhartha, yeah.
First book. And do you remember your first novel from him?
Yeah. So you're referring to which one? Say that again.
Siddhartha.
Yeah, Siddhartha.
Siddhartha was my very first. And do you remember your very first novel reading of Hermann Hesse?
No, I don't remember. No, I don't remember.
But it was incredible impact for me, and so and I start after that novel. I read all the other Nazis in Goldmund, Glasperlenspiel, and Klein und Wagner, and I start to get collected informations from him. I read lots of books, and I follow him through my life until today, and in the 70s I was in his birthplace in Calv, and yes, and a year later we were in end of the 70s in Montagnola for the first time, and it was at that time I had long hair, and all the people, be careful, they are hippies or terrorists or whatever. And but at that time, Montagnola was rather like the old village, and I was there later, again and met Regina, the curator of the museum, and I'm familiar with his lecturer, Dr. Volker Michels in Frankfurt, and a few years ago I was on a meeting in south of Germany, where Hermann Hesse has his very first house. It's a lake, it's Bodensee, Lake Bodensee. And yes, we had a good, very interesting discussion. And but it is, I think, it is a great influence of me. It fits. He lived in the countryside, and he said once a very, very important thing. For us musicians, I could say music first the music, and the ego later. But music comes first, should be always first. And so, yeah, if you watch to the society, to the politicians, to the world, to everything, Hermann Hesse gives me a very good view to match it, to understand it, and it's real. It's yeah, it fits, and I had the idea for an album only on a grand piano, and actually not preparing beforehand, not composing. I just want improvise, and we made it with a friend in a room. It was a good room with a grand piano, and so I recorded a few hours, and the best parts we made a record, and I thought about the music and thought, well, that's good. I should be dedicated to Hermann Hesse. And it's interesting was that different people call me and said, "No, it's very good," because I like and I read lots of things from Hermann Hesse too, and I think it fits very well. Even though the record is not so successful like other records from me, but Claudio, the music is the kind of music, the instrumental music. I think it's rather timeless.
Absolutely. Yeah. You say at the beginning, like 5 minutes ago, you say something very meaningful. So you are a musician, you write music, but the ego always get in the way and always appear. Of course, the work of, Carl Gustav Jung, right? In Switzerland, in Koch. I don't know, you have been in Basel or in Koch, where he has his house, and he has a lot of symbols outside the house, where the house, it's like a castle. It's in front of the lake, and he has a lot of inscription in Latin. Something that, it's all God is always present, whether you invoke it or not, and the ego will always get in the way. And so I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I'm an engineer by trade, but I studied psychology for many years as well, so I know exactly what you're saying. So
that's very interesting, and yes, and I know that Hermann Hesse has through his lifetime lots of problems, psychological problems, and he has over 10 years he was in therapy, and it was a student from Carl Gustav Jung, and yes, and so I think it's real. I think our business, the music business, it's like the politicians, full of egos, and it's not the truth and such things. But if you are as a musician, for example, if you are concentrate first on your work and what are you really has to do and what are you have to say. The most important thing is you have to be a storyteller, no matter what
Yeah.
kind of music. You know, I'm a big fan from the band Weather Report.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, Weather Report, yeah. I saw that band in the 70s and blew me away. And the great Joe Zawinul once said, you have to be a storyteller, no matter what kind of music you do. And that's so no superficial, but you have to say something. And that's impressed me, and that's I have that in mind, and so it should be normal. Yeah.
Mm, absolutely. In some year later, in 2016, you became an official member of the Record Academy. That was formerly they call National Academy of Recording Art and Sciences, right? And you were a Grammy Award voting member as well. That's a big deal, you know.
Yeah. It yeah, you can say that it was a big deal. It is a big deal, especially if you are not American, and if you are,
Yeah.
I live in Germany, because often I think my music and my friends, many good guys in America, and but yes, I didn't know that before, and another colleague, a label mate from England, once he said, "Yeah, you could be a member of the Recording Academy as a Grammy voting member." And so, really, and so it's easy, and so I did it, and you have to have you have to have record new music in America directly. The other thing is if you are being a member of a big major company, then it's no problem. They have another possibilities. But you know, we are all the most of them are independent musicians, like I am too, and so it's very interesting what how that works. And I have to say, they are so many musicians, especially in America, but many good guys, good friendships we have. And you know, a few weeks ago, there was stop for the including your tracks, your music, and it was a voting time. And I have to say, it's a community. Everything has the same goal, and but it's rather being friends and not competitors or the rivals. And I think it's good, and it is a good experience.
Mm. I know, absolutely. Good for you. Good for you. Your latest record, um, it's called Calm in Colors, right? That was released recently in 2024. It's very good. Uh, uh,
Thank you.
then the name, invite you to take a, relaxation trip through colors and explore nature, and it gives a sense of, you know, harmony, everlasting melodies, uh, peaceful, and it brings you, if you put your headphone on it like I did it last night, it brings you to a very peaceful and and, and restful state. So it's what's it for you, Werner? What's the level of effort to put like a record end to end? It's like a year process, a 2 year process, or it depends the time of you release the album when it's ready, right? Maybe 6 months, maybe 2 years, right? So when do
No,
you know when it's complete? When it's okay, I don't want to touch anymore. It's go to the public now.
so for an album, I know you have to be I think at least 42 or 45 minutes, I think, should be over 40 minutes altogether. That means 12 or 14 tracks. It depends on how long the tracks are. But if I am in the process of producing, of composing, arranging, and all that, I don't look on the clock. You hear the music, and you start collecting all the tracks. And if you feel that's enough, this is a good range, and then I start hear the music and say, okay, I count the time, and then I decide to collect it all together. It took 1 year, and I have to say, if we go through the time of Corona, and at that time I had never so many new ideas in my life, and especially 20 and 21, and so so that's very, very good if we have for one album 100 tracks, 100 ideas. You can choose the very, very best ideas. And right, you said a melody and a composition is for me always important, very, very important, and an everlasting melody. And so that's touched me, and I think it's for my music a trademark. It should be a melody, and yeah, and it was if you have 100 tracks and you choose 12 tracks, all are good, and probably more. I have my own record label, Pretense Records, and I have a very, very good distribution in Oakland, California. It's Al Evers, the owner, and he was distributor at the Real Music Times, and he said to me, "Bernward, you have lots of fans, especially in America. Build your own record label, and you feel really free." And so I started. I know it's lots of work, but yes, it's very good feeling free. You can do what you want, and no record company said, "Come on, we have a deadline, etc." So it's better. It's better for the music, better for the audience, and all that came together. And I have to say, if you talk about this is my new record, Carmen Colors.
Yeah.
And if you see the photo, my daughter Hannah makes a photo, and she makes a back photo. So
oh, beautiful! Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it's in my area, and it was last December, and
yeah.
It's very good to see that. And my daughter Hannah made the design as well, and there's one track. My son Moritz plays guitar, electric guitar on the last track, and my wife Christiane flute, and otherwise, and my brother congas. Otherwise, all the tracks, all the instruments I played alone, and for me, I could. It was like a flow, hard work, but a flow, and so yes, I have a good feel with the album. Yes.
Good. I need to send you a separate email so you can send me. I can buy some of your the latest album you have. You can autograph that for me and send it to the house here in Virginia. Any person in the world that know Herman H and know Siddhartha Steppenwolf and many others gotta be an interesting person.
Yeah.
So you have done what now, over 17, 18 albums so far. What what's the motivation for you to keep on going, keep on releasing music? You cannot help it. You have no choice.
Sometimes I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm thrilled. For me, it's a thrill really hear good music, and so no matter what. But it touched me. I know I understand the language, and it's my life, and it's like a DNA. Probably I was born with it, and you have to love music. And music is such a good language, probably the best language in the world. And yeah, you have, if you make music, you have to have fun, and you have to work, of course. But it's all the musicians, all the good professional musicians, especially, or the amateur musicians. If you have to love music, and that's the most important thing, and you have to feel it, and so you can share it.
No, catch. Is it difficult to make a living on as a musician?
What would you
Is
please
it difficult to make a living, to have music your only source of income? Or because a lot of musicians need to get another job and do music during the weekend because they're married, they have kids, whatever. I imagine,
Yeah,
of course, the big name always make money, right? The
yeah,
Genesis, Led Zeppelin, the Pink Floyd of this world, right? But a lot of musicians, like in your type of music, it's difficult to make a living, right?
in earlier times, I had different pupils, students, and I work as a private teacher,
Yeah,
and but not full time, only a few days, and I have, thanks God, I have since many years I can live from my music,
okay.
and I have we are living in a streaming times,
Yeah,
and streaming, and I have no problem with streaming, and I must say, if Corona starts, then the streaming numbers of my music and of lots of colleagues increase.
yeah.
But yeah, and we no one know why, but it was because of Corona, and so is yes, you can live from streaming numbers. You must, it's not good paid, but you have to have many high numbers of streaming, and I think it's good if your music works, your music. If you haven't lots of money for advertising, we independent musicians, we haven't, but you have to concentrate to make the best.
Music possible, right? Yeah. Any possibility of you either touring in Germany or touring doing some gig here in United States, or it's very difficult to
It's
play live?
really. I mostly I play in Germany,
Yeah,
and in my area, solo concerts. And if I played in different bands, we had once a tour until to Moscow. It was a real adventure. 30, it was 1990, and incredible time. But yeah, not so many. If I play, I prefer playing with other musicians
I got it.
together. Much
Yeah,
more fun playing, and from time to time I play with different bands, and but um, maybe I hope someday I could play more, and I will see what happened.
Mm, I got it. I got it. Well, are you working in new material now for another album to be released next year? Am I right? So as a musician, you're always working. You always have stuff in the background, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You revisit
Yes,
certain tracks, right? You save
I
it. Say, well, I'm not going to use this track for this album for Living Color, but I will keep it there in the hard drive and come back to that track for future projects and so forth, right?
yes, yes, exactly. If I have an idea and
Yeah,
and I write it down or I played it directly in the program,
yeah,
work with a program Steinberg Cubase. It's like a tape machine.
correct.
Start record and play, and that's was it. And so I had I have lots of tracks in mind, and I have enough material for another records. Um, at the moment, I have to do my concentrate of different things for promoting my new album, Calming Colors,
Yeah,
and still, and it's lots of work also, and it's very important. And so I want record new videos, and I may make interviews like with you,
thank you.
and so and it's a pleasure. And yeah, I know I have enough tracks, and I have enough work for the future, and that's no problem. And and it's yeah, I'm happy with that thing that I have. I know I have enough material.
I got you. The last question: where listener to this podcast can buy your music? Free to mention your website, or a Bandcamp where they can find your music, or your website where people can buy your CDs, your vinyl, your
Yeah,
MP3 files, and so forth. So
yes, it's my website is it's like my name.
yeah,
It's
Bernward.
Bernward Koch,
Yeah,
you know.
I see it. Yeah, I see it. I see it. Yeah, and I will put the link there as well. Yeah.
Okay, all right, Bernward Koch dot www.bernwardkoch.com, and I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and yeah, if you got, my name Bernward is not so often in Germany. It's and today it's very good. So there are not many Bernward Koch with people with that name in the world. It is very
Yeah.
good for me. And so you will find my music. I have a video channel at YouTube, and so on every streaming services in the world. And yeah,
Perfect. It was, thank you very much, Bernard. It was very nice talking to you. Good luck to you. And your music is great. The latest album is excellent, obviously. And then hopefully this interview and the podcast can help you out with achieving all your goals. And but you have done very well in your life, and your music is great. And don't let the ego get in the way, always.
yes, yes. So Claudio, I thank you. It was a great pleasure talking with you. Thank you very much for the
No
invitation.
problem.
It
Sure.
it was fun, and I wish the very, very best to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you
I
very much.
thank you.
Have a great
Thank you.
afternoon there.
You
Bye.
too. Thank you. Bye bye.